Hi everyone, I'm Frank there, and we're flying our drone today, and we're going to visit the Skylark mines. So we were in the Skylark last fall, but not in this part. This is an old part that I'd never seen before. It was actually mined back in 1907 last when it was abandoned, and I just noticed it with my plane flying over it, and then finally got the coordinates on Google Earth, and we went up there and have a look at it. So it was pretty interesting. We kind of thought the old part of the mine and the new part connected, but they don't. Way in the distance there, you can see the old part. I mean the new part. This is the old part, but they're not connected at all. So they're all on the same claim, but for all intents and purposes, they might as well be two separate mines. So this is just kind of it's kind of funny the way this is built, because it's a huge pile of waste rock at the top of the mountain. So obviously they had a winch that they pulled all the material up. I don't know of any other at it in the bottom. We'll have to have a look in the summer and see if we can find another one. But it's kind of odd that they would pull all this stuff up, but it looks like that's what they did. It doesn't seem to be a very deep workings, fairly shallow. It's not that far underground. So we'll just show you this pile, but it's a pretty big pile. You can really notice it from the air, and you can actually see it from Google Earth. So this is a pretty major producer. So we'll just land here, and then we'll go have a look at the new part. And just getting a little bit of practice at the drone, getting a little better at flying it. So that's a lot of fun. You can really take some pretty good pictures and fairly clear. Really enjoy flying. It works a lot better than the plane for showing you stuff. So we'll just pack up here, and then we're just going to go to the new part. So this is the new part. It was mined last in the 80s, and then they completely reclaimed it. So it wasn't actually ever supposed to get back in here. But what happened was there's a big sinkhole right in the middle here. We'll show you where the sinkhole is, and we were able to get in the sinkhole. I think the shaft, see those two holes in the middle there? There's some water there. I think that's where the shaft was that they reclaimed, so it's kind of a low spot, but you can't get into the shaft. So the only way you can get in here is this big sinkhole that you see here, and I don't think it was originally that way. I think it was just a stope that caved in. I'm not sure, but I think it was. So if you want to see that mine last fall, we went in there and we documented this mine, so you can have a look at it if you go back into season 1, and that's the old part, or the new part of the Skylark mine. So there was quite a lot of material that come out of here. There's 12,000 kilograms of silver and 90 kilograms of gold that came out of here, plus copper, lead, and zinc. So it was a pretty major producer back in the 80s, and then it was just all reclaimed back then. So. But a real treat to get into the old part of the Skylark, and we'll have to go back in the summer and see if we can get a little further into it. And we'll just play the title, and then we'll show you the Skylark mine.
Time's running out, and the youth alive, hey, streets infected, and crawled in the slime. The neon nightmare is about to unwind.
So we're at the top of this waste rock pile. Not a tailings pile. You know, a lot of people call these tailings, but they're not tailings. Tailings are processed material. This is just material that was either just dumped out as a tunnel or something. Waste probably from a tunnel, or possibly this may be an exploration. I don't know, so I haven't really found anything yet, but there's a big pile that we can see from the air, and we're going to have a look here and see what we can find. Oh, wow. I need a rope for that. Well, that's cool. There's some old cribbing and stuff in there. I don't think that'll be that hard to get into. Definitely need a rope for it though. We have a rope today, but I don't know if I'm gonna be all that keen on going down there by myself. I could get the rope, but it's almost the kind of thing where it'd be nice to have someone with you. So this must be pretty extensive. I wonder why they just didn't dig straight into the bank. Why'd they go down like that? Interesting, definitely a mine here. And here's some artifacts. Looks like some kind of a steam boiler, something like that, eh? Alright. Carry on across there, we see some more artifacts there. Indeed, we're seeing a lot of artifacts here, so I don't know. I'm gonna wreck that, but looks pretty cool. Don't know what it is. Alright, so we're just getting ready to go down this monster hole. Well, we don't know if it's a monster hole. It looks big from here. It might not be very deep at all. So it's a fair bit of work to snowshoe up here. But we got all our gear up here. And there, I hope my head's not cut off. So I'm just getting ready to go down into this big hole. So looks like we got a lot of gear, you know. But better to have stuff you don't need than to need stuff you don't have. You get into trouble. So we had to snowshoe up here. And got all my stuff on. We're going to hook onto that line and down the hole we go. So unfortunately this part of the Skylark isn't going to go anywhere. So we got a flooded shaft here. Obviously went down at one point, but doesn't look like we're going to be able to get down there now. Gotta have a closer look. And then goes that way. Boy, it almost looks like maybe it doesn't go straight down. I might actually have a sideways. Boy, I wish it was just a little colder and that was frozen solid. Unfortunately, it's not. So looking up, not really any big deal. Not really even that far down here. There's another shaft or tunnel going the other way. We'll have to see if we can get into that one. So it wasn't really that tough to get in here, so there was a bit of a rat's nest at the entrance, so we had to push out of the way, and we got down in here. So we're back a fair ways both ways, but it's wet. I don't know how deep the water is, but it's heading the same direction as the top level is, so I'm not going to bother with that, obviously. We'll stick to the dry part. We'll go up this way. Hey, look at that. We built a little thing there to keep the material from falling down here, so this might have been wet for a long time, and they just built this up here. I don't know. So we're going to walk along this part and see what we can get. So we think this is the Skylark mine, but I'm not sure. Because we found another pretty extensive part to it. Oh, there's a rat. Surprise, surprise. Well, that is a big rat. Look at the size of that sucker. Huh. Well, this is not looking good. Good for a swim. Oh, we might be able to carry on the other way. It's kind of bad that there's water in it, because basically that means it can't drain out anywhere. That doesn't mean that there's no lower level to it or anything. So we're going to go up where that rat is and see if we can continue on. Man, that's a big rat in that direction. Hope he's nice. Man, that is a big rat. I hope he's friendly. All right. See if we can get around this way. Oh, right on. There's a stope here. Cool. Excellent. Oh, I thought we were done here, but we can carry on this way. Huh. All right on. Yeah. This is actually one of the bigger mines around here, where the Skylark was. Hey, a whole lot of ore out of here. Oh, there's a drill. Got some of this material here. That's kind of sulfides in here, and that's what would have had gold in it, eh? But, you know, there wouldn't be bags of gold laying around. I mean, talking about maybe an ounce per ton. And if it was, that material was still that rich, they'd still be mining this. There we go. Huh. Yeah. It's really a shame that the main level is flooded. Maybe a guy will feel like coming in here in summertime and try to swim or wade along here. Could probably dig it out and just carry on. I wouldn't be surprised. But if a guy had a shovel and he dug that out, you could probably get to the next section. Yeah. Let's have a look down here. Yeah, that's interesting. You know, there's got to be a main level here because all this ore obviously went down these chutes. So there got to have been a railway somewhere where all this ore came out. Yeah, that's deep. It's really deep. Yeah. Huh. So the guy wants to explore a bunch of that mine. We haven't got too many options. One's swimming, which I'm not really all that keen on. And the other one's probably digging out the... I'll see if I can get down there and shine a light further up both ways. I wonder if you see, that almost looks like a railway track there. There's got to be a railway down there. It's funny that this mine wouldn't drain itself out. They must have maybe sealed it somehow. Yeah, it goes on for a long ways, eh? Huh. Wow. So the question is, could the guy get a kayak or something? Probably, eh? What the guy needs is a kayak. That'd be fun. Jump the kayak and go all the way along there. It's going down on the further levels there too, see? If you can see that or not. It goes down. Yeah. You won't have very much headroom with a kayak though, eh? Wow. That is interesting. And we know this is a big mine too, so it goes for a long ways. Oh, that's interesting. Look at all the work they did to hold this loose material up. I don't see a railway there. No, I don't believe so. Pretty interesting looking ore chute. You can see they're built that to keep all this loose material. It almost seems like this is just waste rock here, right? So they mined from stopes further up. The ore went down, so at one time the ore must have went down to another level. But it's kind of odd that it's full of water now. Okay, so we made it through this squinty thing. There's a big stoked out area here. Alright, so the path continues all on that way. So actually there's a chance that might be dry on the other side of that obstruction there. So if we look to our right, that's where the water was coming along. That long passageway that we looked up was coming from the right into there. So we've got kind of a bit of a rooming here. And as you can see, it continues on down that way. Now, it looks like all that material there might be just a block that's holding all this water in here. So it could be, if we get across this water, maybe we want to do it in summertime, we could swim across there, not very far, and maybe we could continue on there and it'd be dry from there on in. The other thing is, there's a passageway going that way, and I don't know what's in there. And I'll be careful because it's really wet and slippery here. I don't want to fall down here because I'd be soaking wet. So we're kind of really wondering if we can get in that way. But I think we've got to come back in the summertime and I don't know, prepared to be wet, do a little swimming or whatever. It doesn't really bother me. That water can't be that cold. It's not even frozen in here. And the other thing is we could look around here and see if we can find another entrance. Really like to see where that goes, but I can't stick my head there. And if I had a selfie stick, I could just stick it way out that way. Let me try my camera. I'll try to get a good picture in there with it. See if that's gonna work. Ooh, it's really tight getting in here too, just barely squeezed in here. Well, could possibly bring a kayak along here and go along there. That's the other way we could do it, but that isn't a hell of a lot of water. I mean, what's the big deal jumping in there and wading across there? I don't want to do it now because I got lots of winter clothes on. Huh. Well, so that's where we came. All right, so pretty interesting chamber. A little stope. We had to squeeze through a real thin area in here. Barely made it through to get here. Yeah, so there's a shot of this from the top. Pretty steamy, hard to see anything in here. I think what we need to do is explore this area more thoroughly and see if there's any more adits. There likely is, because they're not really that far in the ground. So chances are they went to surface and another little rat hole somewhere, and we can maybe get up. This isn't the skinny place we had to go through. The skinnier one is further up. If you're claustrophobic, you wouldn't be enjoying this. Oh, there's barely enough room for me to squeeze in here. But I can kick some rocks out of the way to make it a little bigger. Go down feet first. Oh, this has been a really fun explore. I don't want to go head first because there's a big, it drops down a big chute there. And I end up in the water. So we'll go feet first. Swing around here. Oh, I got a lot of clothes on. Sweating like a butter. Pretty warm in here. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. Back up. There we go. There. Wait a minute. It's actually easier getting out of here than it was going in. Because you're going downhill. So, okay. Well, that's my gas alarm, but I don't think there's any gas. It's not oxygen problems. I'm breathing on it. All right. Feels a little cooler when you get up in here. So, one bad thing is it's kind of thin here, so I left my pack behind, but I didn't bring my extra light. So I only got the one light. Well, actually I got 3 lights because my camera has an LED and my regular shooting light, and I also have my light in my pack, or my head. But it's not very far to the entrance anyhow, so no problem. Well, it's definitely something you want to keep in the back of your mind. You don't want to be in here with no light. I read something kind of really interesting about rats. They said the larger the rat is, the larger the turd is. So you see big turds in mine, you know, there's big rats. You can tell the size of the rats by the turds. Some of these nests they found in places in Europe are up to 5,000 years old. It's called mids. They're a big pile of nests. And they go through them piles, and then they measure the size of the pellets and stuff, so they know how big the rats were that were there. But, yeah. So that lower level is all connected to the other side. And, yeah. Sneak our way across to here. Whoa, there's money rotten there. But like I say, it doesn't matter if we fall down there. We'll be able to climb out. A lot better to have water in the bottom of the shaft than air, because water will stop you when you hit it, or at least slow you down. So away we go. We're almost back to our exit point here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this explore of the Skylark. Oh well, that was a hell of a lot of fun. So, so now what we got to do is, so this basically we went down this hole here, and we don't know how far it goes that way, but we know it goes this way a long ways. So there's 2 things. We'll just keep exploring here, see if there's any other adits that maybe we can get into. Might be possibly an adit further down there. We know it's not very far underground, so you know, chances are maybe another adit, possibly past that blockage. Maybe we'll get in there, have a look at that. And failing that, in the summertime, we'll just jump in the water and we'll swim through that little hole, and we'll check the rest of it out. But we know, you know, that there's far more extensive workings than what we saw, because there's a big pile of voiced rock here. So it came from somewhere. I don't understand why it's up here. That's a bit of a mystery to me, because they don't haul waste rock uphill. So I don't know. We'll see.
Talk, cut to the chase. Time's running out, and the using life.